Options. We got music. We'll put some music on here. Down tempo. Hey. So I should be live. It's, since I got that music, I can turn other music on to get my volume right. Let me get my invite thing going here. Put it in the chat. I thought, okay. Chat's over here. Right there. Okay. I don't know if I can pin it from Restream. Yeah, I might not be able to pin it from Restream. Where's my invite? Yay. Well, they updated the Restream here, and so who knows where the invite is? Right there. Copy invite link. It's on the other side of the screen. There. Now, did that make it onto YouTube? Let's see if that made it onto YouTube. I got some things to tell you about. Forrest Fenn. Oh, better mute. It is muted because I muted old Ding Dong over in Europe. You know, the guy with the theory about the putting the poem together by turn word puzzle, except the letters don't have to be connected. They can, just as long as this group of letters can be synonymed into the word, that's good enough. It doesn't even have to be like a, the word crot where you find the words in the puzzle, circle them. They don't have to be in order like that for Mario. No, he just makes it up on the fly. And Mario, I remind you, that's a theory only. There's no fact in what you are doing, Mario. No fact whatsoever. You have no way of proving it whatsoever. Even though you can pull the letters out of there and stuff, you can't prove that, Mario. Just go play in a muddy bog. And go find some quicksand, Mario. Let me see. And did I get it? Oh, I don't know. I tried to. Had something. There's a bat flying in here. One thing I was going to get AI to do a thing on the Flutterby. Now, when he talks about Flutterby, he's talking about Flutterby. A Flutterby, he's talking about the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is one thing leads to another. And Forrest said, I wanted to influence as many lives as my father did. And when he talks about his father and the kids, I remember, and you whooped my butt in school, and I really learned from that. Thank you. Well, what he did in school that day, whipping the kid's butt, made the kid better. What actions he took changed the person and changed history from then on. A Flutterby is, he's talking about the butterfly effect and how by doing this chase, he's caused people to get married. He's caused people to fall off of cliffs, go out rafting in sub-zero Fahrenheit weather, and go out snowmobiling in a state that he said it wasn't in. Forrest didn't do it. He started a treasure hunt. These other things that happen, all just part of the butterfly effect. That he did this, and it caused them to do that. You know, it caused these people to do this and that. And yeah, yeah. I, I think between Mike and K-Pro, one of them's probably fixed, and so we'll never see the results of that. But you know, and then these people they like to put down, we can't because Bill Gorman's include Moses. I was just watching dumbass Mario bringing up Moses. What they don't get about Moses. Well, Moses, you know, he was the president of the National Rifle Association. He was the president of the Silver Bullet Brigade. His signature is on this silver bullet. It says Charlton Heston. Cheston. It says C. Heston. No, it says Charlton, I believe. Yeah, he has his whole name spelled on there. Oh, wait. Where is it? Yeah. It's right there. It says Charlton Heston. But that's why even Lorraine Mills told Forrest, well, we all know Charlton Heston is the chest for his chest. You know, that you seen everything of Charlton Heston if you saw Planet of the Apes. You saw his ass and all. He bared it all. But you know, he's been and also, so he was the president of the NRA. He was the president of the Silver Bullet Brigade, and he starred in Omega Man, where he drove old Fords with no tops. Oh, and he drove a Chevy Blazer. There you go, the Blaze. Charlton Heston, Moses, up there at the burning bush in the Ten Commandments, which was the big picture. It was the biggest motion picture of all time. Thousands and thousands of extras and animals and everything in it and props. It was the biggest production ever. It was the big picture. They didn't have CGI to make armies. They had real people out there. You know? They had real people, a real caravan of people in the movie. But they did part in the Red Sea. That was CGI, of course. Exactly. Look up. Maybe there should be a video on how they did that for the movie. Not the same as they did it at Universal Studios, which I went through that in 1972. I think went on the. But we took the Universal Studios bus in Universal City and Los Angeles. We went there with my cousins because my uncle he's got more than a dozen kids. We lost count, but when he was 45, he married his 15-year-old babysitter. There you go. That's my uncle. He's dead now. I'm gone. But I got a lot of cousins because most of those kids he had 3 boys out of like 15 kids or so, you know, just 3 boys. And that was like, there was a boy in the middle and then there was another one, two more with a second wife. So, with the babysitter. I remember it because when she, I remember I was like 17 and she was younger than me. When my uncle married her, you know. She was like 60. She's like a year younger than me or something. But the me in the middle, okay, the car was in the middle of the meadow, sitting out there in the blazing sun. And I don't see anybody in chat yet. 7 watching. Was up to 11. This is my, you know what this looks like? This is a super heavy booster, and this is the Starship. You put the resins, you take this thing off, and then there's another container inside, and you open that up, and then you put your resins in there, you put the cap on that, and then you put this green cap on, because inside of there it gets really hot when you push this button and it vaporizes it. But this one, the battery that came with this was green, like this, but it was shorter, not as long as this blue one. This blue battery came with a cordless soldering iron. It's the same battery, except the green thing didn't make contact with the center post in there that the charge goes through. And so I got I clipped off a little piece of strand of wire, and I just rolled it in a little circle, a little donut shape, and I sat it on top of the pin, and then I put the thing on so it just matched up, and so the little piece of wire filled the gap because it didn't fit. And so now it works with this nice blue battery, but now it looks like a Starship. And I always get the one with the USB charger here. You don't want the one that you got to take your thing off and plug on there, because while it's charging, you can't use it. With the USB cord plugged in there, oh, battery's dead. Shit. You plug it in, you can use it right away while it's charging. So that's all better. But this is a cheap way to get it. It's like $6.50 a gram. for the wax to put in here. See, the most you can get is 8. So the thing is, it's really like $8 a gram. But if you buy the maximum, which is 8, you get 20% off. So that makes it $6.50 or $6.40 something. I don't know, somewhere in there. But I also got my new ride. Ooh, it's nice. I drove it to town twice. It's nice to have that. It is really nice. It's like got all the bells and whistles. It's got the cherry wood grain dash for a. It's got the smooth ride. Shocks or what suspension smooth for the smooth ride, so it rides like a Escalade. It has all the bells and whistles, the navigation screen, everything in there. I think I put a video up showing it. But yeah, I love riding that. I had an appointment yesterday. I got an appointment tomorrow, and then I want to go camping. At least a night or two somewhere. I want, and it's 4-wheel drive, so I can go places I couldn't go before. What else was it? Oh yeah, why do I have the title is 777 on 7/17/2024? Well, you know what? Hey, 5 Leaf. You know what today is, 5 Leaf? Well, I'll give you a clue. The added chapter in Once Upon a While. The added chapter in Once Upon a While was Dizzy Dean. That second edition of Once Upon a While the first edition came out in 2017, right? In November 2017, I was at the book signing when Forrest tapped on my shoulder from behind. That has special meaning also. And then he brought me over and introduced me to Doug. But anyhow, so there was no, it ended with The Price of Freedom in the 2018 book. The 2017 book, it ended with The Price of Freedom, because in the beginning of the book, Doug talks about where Forrest Fenn parks his car at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Well, where Forrest Fenn parks is in the handicap spaces right outside the administrative offices, because the director is a Sparks, like Kelly is a Sparks. Okay? And Kelly did go to University of Colorado. They went to University of Colorado. Boulder is where his daughters went to school, as far as I know. They were tied in with all that. They were tied in with any classes they took, and if their father was in it, he probably talked them into taking some archaeology and stuff there, University of Colorado Boulder, or maybe at the School of Mines. You can take some classes there, you know, in Golden. But hey, Crimson. Anyhow, so Forrest would park there in the handicap spaces, but right there in front of the handicap spaces are these bronze sculptures of wolves that's called where life runs free or something, where freedom runs free, something like that. But anyhow, and it says there on the sign, it says, caution, wolf sculptures may be hot. Okay, so this is in the preface of Once Upon a While. And then what's at the end of the book of 2017 is the wolf sculptures. The wolf sculpture, The Price of Freedom, the bronze wolf, the bronze wolves, where he parks his car at the museum. The Price of Freedom. You know? I think it's where life runs free or something. Yeah. Where spirits run free. I think it is. And there's the wolves chasing a rabbit. It's a chase. Wolves chasing a rabbit. We're in a chase. Where he parks his car at the museum are the wolves. That's in the beginning of the book. And the end of the book is a wolf sculpture sculpted by a guy up in Montana. The one here in Colorado, the wolves in Colorado are sculpted by somebody else, but donated by the Gates Family Foundation, which is the family of the Gates Tire and Rubber Company, where he was collecting tires and stuff on the way to Yellowstone, so on. They had to have tire stamps. Well, if they're going through Denver, they could pick up some cheap tires at the Gates Tire and Rubber Company, maybe, if they had tire stamps. Or maybe they collected tires on the way and they could dump them off there and they'd get recycled into new tire. I don't know what they were, but it makes sense that happens. And I don't know where it is right now. If you'd seen my CD repair kit, right? Okay, these wolves at the museum, they were donated by Valerie Gates, the Gates Foundation. They run the Gates IMAX theater there at the museum too. It's their money that contributes to that, and they run the JFK Center at Harvard also. They support that. They're the big contributor to that. But Forrest Fenn knew this. So that all ended with the wolf at the end of it's about the wolves and where he parks his car and the wolf sculptures and blah, 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 blah. And then 2018 comes along a year later, and he adds Dizzy Dean to the book. Why did he add Dizzy Dean to the book? It's 2018. Why did he add Dizzy Dean? Well, let me tell you why. Because Dizzy Dean was number 17. That was the number on his jersey. He was number 17. It was over in 2017 when Once Upon a While came out. It was over. And they lived happily ever after. Once upon a while, there was a prince and a princess, and they lived happily ever after. The story's over. He had his winner in 2017. Also, Dizzy Dean was number 17. What are the chances that Dizzy Dean died on July 17th? He's wearing number 17 on his jersey, and he died on July 17th. I see 37777. It's July, the 7th month. He's number 17, and he died on the 17th. And what do the ones stand for? One represents God. The singularity. We're all part of the singularity. It's like you think that, you think that you're you. There's nothing else. You're you, and that's all there is to you is you. Well, there are things running around inside of you that are separate from you, that are just connected to the singularity like you are. They're called, antibodies, and you might have parasites, or some people got worms, some people... And some people got their stuff living on top of them. Not inside them. I would guess that Mario, when he takes his temperature, when he's not sick or something, I'll bet he's not 98.6. I bet he's 97 something or 98.2. He's not up there at 98. He's below 98.6. And Mario's going to get a thermometer and go, I see if Bill's right. And he's going, how the fuck did you know? I tried commenting on his, I'm all blocked on his shit, So I make fun of him. People that block me, you can't ignore the Moses, the cars, the Bullet, Father sitting on the bank. Oh, he's sitting on a Model A. Skippy's Buffalo Cowboy car was a Model A. Skippy had a Model B. Forrest flew a Model C and a Model D and a Model F. But Forrest never mentioned a Model A. And that's what the car is that I have. It's a Model A. Because if you mentioned a Model A, that would not be so. That'd be a direct hint. So he had to hint at it by saying Model B, Model C. He'd leave the A out. But he hint at it because it's like a Model B, but it's a Model A. It's like a Model T, but it's a Model A. And then Eric Sloan's Return to Taos. Before you cross, when you come into the road and the road is flooded, he says to walk across to make sure the water's not too high to drive across before you get your car stuck out there in the water. Because if you can't, if it gets up to here and you're walking across, your car ain't gonna fucking make it. Water's high. Now, to walk where I parked my car, to walk to where Forrest Fenn's car was, I had to cross a creek that was below my calves, you know, and really in August and September that it's really low because in June the water's high, but by August, September, the water's low. All this, runoff from the winter is gone. Water's low. You just walk across. Ah, see. Yeah, Nevin knows what I'm talking about. You got my springs? Somebody took my springs. I think. I don't know. I got to look around. I thought I tossed them off somewhere else over there, but I got to go look again. That's probably go camping up there. And, when it's hot here, I'll go camping up there. Because it's probably about 10 degrees cooler up there. Yeah. I think a lot of them pictures, Nevin, I think I lost them in my my hard drive that went bad. Like my 2016 from part of 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014. I lost a lot of hard drive for that. I still got the drives, and I try them once in a while. Come on, and I have gotten more information off of some, but the one with most of it is toast. But most of my videos were uploaded, and a lot of my pictures were I had saved in other folders that I did have. But I got to go to some areas and get some other pictures. But I've been looking where to go. Take my new 4-wheeler. It's not new. It's 11 years old. Same age as my car, but doesn't have as many miles. It's got 30,000 miles less. Oh. Woo! Climbing on the screen. Flying bug. I closed the door, didn't I? Yeah, the door is closed. I wonder how the insects get in when the door is closed. So, yeah, it was Dizzy Dean died July 17th, 1974. and so there's 74. That adds another 7 in there, 4 7s, whatever. They got slot machines with 4 7s. And so it was telling us that the chase was over in 2017. And what's in the middle of the book? Moses. Oh, who's Moses? Oh, he's the president of the NRA. What has Moses and the NRA got to do with it? The bullet. The car was shot. All the pieces fit together. All the pieces. It's 1 degree of separation. It all fits. And there's somebody out there, Forrest. Oh, he doesn't know. Forrest never. He wouldn't let me talk to him for more than a minute. I told him, hey, Forrest, because I knew that Benjamin Franklin was the first one that published 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. And I quoted Benjamin Franklin to Forrest. Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me? Poking me in the chest right here. And no, Forrest. I think there's a third party. And he said, there sure is. But then the only person who is a threat is the one who knows a secret. Because the whole story behind that 2 can keep a secret if one of them's dead is one of those 2 gotta die. And it was his plan all along. I like the way my father went. And I'm going to choose when and where I go. I'm going to choose my own time and my own place. and his den was his treasure box, and he died inside his treasure box. But that is not the proxy, is the spiritual treasure out there that invoked his memories of his childhood and riding in that car, that brave boy lassoing that buffalo and hopping in the car and going for that ride, and it crashed in the creek, and he was barefoot and had to walk home 4 miles in the cold barefoot. It was worth the cold. He was brave, and he lassoed the buffalo. And he didn't realize how much fun it was until later. It was worth the cold. It was worth that long 4-mile walk home. And where I found his car, I was sitting on a seat cushion in the back. The seat was gone in the back. I was just sitting on a seat cushion back there. Really, I don't think there was a seat there. That was where the top folded into, I think, or something. And, you know, but, and so he just had a couch cushion, square couch cushion that's a small set of springs that's wrapped in cotton and stuff, and then upholstered and put on the couch, right? One of those kind of cushions, not a modern one with a piece of foam rubber. They didn't have foam rubber then. They had springs in the seats. Well, those springs were in front of the car by the creek. When they crashed in the creek and he flew out and got wet, and they all got wet and had to walk home cold. People don't get it. Anybody? I don't see any. Oh, why is that there? Where is that Sean? No. Oh, there. I was looking for. I don't know how to get this new restream. Is funky to me. Where'd it go, Jack? I was trying to see if anybody was ad seen. So all that, and there was something else I found out. Me in the middle, because Moses is in the middle of the Once Upon a While. He's in the middle of the book. And what's before the mammoth tusk is, remember, I was Willie Mammoth because I found evidence that they were sculpting mammoths in the rocks here. There's even a place here called Elephant Rocks that they call it that, they say, because the mammoths were scraping their tusks on the rocks that made the rocks that shape, those shapes. It's like, no, there's more to it than that. You guys are still a little blind. You're not seeing in the extra dimension. You can hear it bubbling in there. But yeah, it's just like a starship, man. The booster and the starship part, man. So the meat in the middle. There was another thing I came up with today because Forrest was like, "Well, you got part." He's closest, and what Shiloh is telling me, you got 60% maybe or something, and so there's because the solver's still putting some pieces in it. But I would question the intelligence of some of the people that are related to Forrest and haven't figured out who the real solver is. I think his family, I don't know, but his family may have known that this was part of his plan, that he starts it like his book starts with his father's suicide and him shooting birds. It talks about Hemingway, in important literature, who shot himself with a gun that he shot birds with. And then it ends the books with his own epitaph, a banquet table at the end of life, which was the banquet table at the Teskew Market that was 30, maybe 40 feet long. That table was the whole length of that outside, that outer patio place there. All the tables were end to end, from one end to the other. And it was breakfast. And Forrest took a couple bites out of his, and he passed his plate to me. He only took a couple bites out because he wanted to let me know that his plate was full. And he was passing his plate to me. There's nobody else here watching that Forrest. Well, maybe Shiloh. Forrest probably passed you his plate a few times. But it totally went against my Nancy Reagan diet. Just say no to second helpings, finishing someone else's plate. No to sodas. No to carbs. You know? Say no to that stuff. You know, but I did. He had the eggs and the with the chili peppers, chili rellenos and eggs. I don't know. It was a breakfast chili relleno or something. You know, it was good. I had room. I got room now. I went Walmart and I bought some boxers. I went to buy some new boxers, and they didn't have any large. They didn't have any X large. All they had was medium, 32 to 34. I got them. Heck, I could add a couple inches and still fit them. I could probably add 4 inches and still fit them. But yeah. After I went to Greece, I've just I don't eat as much. I eat a smaller diet. I don't have to have a big plate of something, you know. You just need to eat enough to survive. Yeah, and I heard, boy, old Sleepy Joe got the C-19 going. It's been reported. I think one of the networks reported that Joe's confirmed to have contracted COVID, and I don't think YouTube can do you for telling the truth. It's on the mainstream news. That's all I did. He said he's got it. So, and like some other people, you know, they did what they were told. They drank the Kool-Aid, and like my neighbor, he drank the Kool-Aid, and another searcher drank the Kool-Aid, got a quad bypass 2 years later. you know. Bill didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Bill's got no coronary blockages. Doing fine. I found out if you order friggin' vitamins and stuff online and UPS is delivering it, you maybe got a pet outside. You got to put a box outside. It says UPS, FedEx all over it, right? Put package inside here to keep the dog from getting your package, opening it, spilling your pills, your magnesium all over the half acre, you know, and possibly, you know, I could imagine if the dog ate 4 or 5 of those, maybe, probably probably. Oh man, I can't push it out. You know, yeah, the dog would get very constipated. So it's a good thing didn't eat it. But I got these other vitamins that when I got them and opened it, they thought I had treats. You know, so when the UPS leaves your paper package with a bottle of pills on the front porch, and you're out in the wilderness where you're not in a fenced thing where you don't have to have a fence, you know, because your neighbors aren't close enough. Your dogs stay home. Yeah, your dogs can get to you. You don't want your dog getting your medicine. So I just told him anytime I said if it's something small, I told him just put it on the windshield of the car and put the windshield wiper on top of it. You know, but if it's something big that the dog can't, you know, a heavy package that the dog can't do anything to, then yeah, you can leave that on the porch. But just don't set it on my Chevy, on my new Chevy. Canadian FedEx. Oh, the Royal Post. They got FedEx in Canada. I'm pretty sure they got FedEx and they got UPS up there too. Pretty sure they do. You can send something UPS anywhere in the world or FedEx. You can send it to Thailand. But you can't buy Thai stick. Yeah. Luke, I am not your father. And I don't think I'm Sasha's either. That's an old joke. Yeah, if you see FX, FX, EFX. I have some EFX sounds. Oh yeah, I could do. That is where. Let me see. Oh, they're gonna fold down now. I ain't gonna mess with that sound stuff. I got their sound playing. Comes with Restream. They got new stuff here. Countdown. A demo. A welcome. I don't want to add any of those themes. I can go pro. I don't want to go pro right now. But I had boy. You know people, couples that they're not happy unless they're fighting. Yeah. That's one reason I'm not in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship where they're not happy unless they're fighting. I don't need no ghetto attitudes. I didn't grow up in a ghetto. You know? I grew up in California. My school was whites and Mexicans mostly, and a few blacks. They had talented black family, or it was they were like the Jackson Five, but they were like seven. You know. The Bluefords, nice people, very nice people. I ran into one of Brazina Blueford like in 1988 at the Hot Rod. The Hot Rod Cafe, not the Hard Rock Cafe, the Hot Rod Cafe in Fremont. That was back just before MC Hammer, because I left there when MC Hammer, well, just after MC Hammer recorded "Can't Touch This," because I was next door to the studio when they were filming the dancers on the stage, and the dancers were coming outside to cool off, and we were just in the space next to where he had his studio there. Off of Warm Springs Boulevard. It was old Warm Springs Boulevard. They cut the road in half, and you got to drive around now and stuff. They changed it. My hometown's all changed, and now it's not. Now it's not whites and Mexicans. It's all Pakistanis and Afghanis and stuff. You know. My whole hometown is completely changed from what it was when I lived there. The park across the street from the high school's a bunch of buildings now. You know, they've even added other buildings in the back parking lots of the school, the high school I went to and stuff. But the front of the school looks the same as when I went there. Yeah, but the shopping center is different. No more Winchell's Donuts. The guy I was on the swim team with, his mother worked at the Winchell's. We'd stop there because I had to walk past Winchell's every day on the way to school. Knew this guy. He'd say, yeah, the cops would stop in there at Winchell's. And the cop, and you get 2 donuts, one to eat and one to marry. I know you can get a job at the donut shop making donut holes. Cotton candy. Flies on candy. That's what Street said. Street is the one that said flies on candy like 3 years ago. Street said flies on candy. And I'm like, it's like flies on shit. Same thing. You know how to get candy pregnant, you know? Yeah, do it on her shoes and let the flies do the rest. Yeah. That was low. But she has very much, extremely treated me like dirt. She's treated me like I was the Buffalo Bill that street is. This shirt's from the Grand Canyon, the Hopi village on the South Rim by the train station. And the trains are Harvey House. They're the Santa Fe Railroad Harvey House. The Harvey cars on the train to the Grand Canyon. That's something when you got dogs, it's kind of hard to go take a train trip, ain't it? And then even if they had a doggy train, you wouldn't want to, because that's like taking your dog to a kennel. You're exposing it to germs from hundreds and hundreds of dogs have been through the kennel. And that's how, what the vets say, that if you're not taking your dog to a kennel, that you don't need all those vaccines. And I'm certainly not going to give my dog something that kills people. You know? No freaking way. Look at about some shot. And I'm like, no. We're going to take our chances. Yeah, we'll get a rabies. That's it. All that other stuff you only need if you take your dog to a kennel. That's what vets on YouTube are saying. That's, you know. So I trust them, because they tell you the horror stories of what happens when you trust the stuff that they want to give your dog. You know, your dog could die. Or you give your dog this shot. They may never get what it's protecting them for, but the shot might kill them. And nobody can deny that there are dogs that have died from their shots. Oh, you go down the rabbit hole. Oh. Be in the middle was, what was I thinking about what is that hung up on? Oh, it's just nothing. You got to. Yeah, going down the rabbit hole. Yeah, Quanah Parker's in all the stuff in Once Upon a While. The star on the asterisk, and in important literature, the asterisk at the end of the large print, the asterisk is an important bullet point. And when you hit the asterisk on your keyboard, Shift 8, what does it print on your whatever document you're typing? A star. The asterisk prints a star. So the star on Once Upon a While is an asterisk that means the book is important literature. He taught you that. Was that before first grade or after first grade? You remember your ABCs, but you don't remember important literature. Okay. See, that's the problem. They're too focused on the stuff I learned in first grade to go to second grade. And then people can't put all the classes together. And where do I see? Is anybody? I don't see anybody joining in. I don't see where I can show anybody joining in. Yeah, that asterisk, that star on Once Upon a While is the asterisk telling you that book is important literature. the fishing line going to the star. Here you go. It's at the end of the line. What's at the end of the line? The important literature is in this book, Where I Parked My Car at the Museum of Nature and Science. And then the last chapter, the bronze wolf sculpture, where he parks his car at the Museum of Nature and Science, are bronze wolf sculptures. And in Teachers with Ropes, he tells the kids to touch the bronze. What does it feel? Oh, it feels cold. Well, it's not really. It's the molecules are closer. I don't know what it was, but here it is. The bronze out in the sun gets hot. Caution: wolf sculptures may be hot, especially when the sun's shining on them. And where was the cow? It was in the middle. Me in the middle. The car was in the middle of the meadow, out there in the sun. Let me play something here. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, this should come out all right. See if that works. You should be able to hear this fine. Okay. I'm gonna take that out and just start it right there. Oh, that's probably too low. Yeah, turn it up. There. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe if I change it to a, because that's not loud enough, I don't think, for you to hear it clear. You guys hear that clearly? Let me try this male voice. There. Oh shit.
Welcome to all.
I'm gonna start it over. That fucking screws off. Yeah, see, now that's gonna be better. Now let me pause. There. in the middle of the meadow. Cool. So in there, when in the beginning, as I got alone in there, and then he asked, "Why must I go alone?" Or, or, or as I have gone alone in there, and then he says, "Why must I go? Why is it I must go and leave my trove for all to see? Why is it I must go alone in there?" Because he had to go alone in there because he was on a suicide mission. He told us that his father did it that way, and he had no problem doing that himself, except he didn't use the pills. That's why he hints at the car. You should call it the bullet, Forrest, because it is shot. That's why he used Hemingway. Hemingway shot himself with a gun that he used to kill birds. Forrest starts out in the book killing birds and talking about his father's suicide. And then he ends the book with a banquet table at the end of life and his own epitaph. His chase was his life from the day he was born till the day he died. He could not end his chase for the state police because he was not ready to end his chase. In 2019, he told us there's going to be a lot of big surprises next year. And I knew then that one of those surprises was he was going to take his life. And that's after he had Matt DeMoss read the stuff at the Fenn Alley and Kofsky going up and down the street, stirring up the dust. K-ski is K-Pro. K-ski is a code word for K-Pro. K-Pros here in West Yellowstone stirring up dust. And what's Forrest Fenn told us all along? The treasure is wet. The treasure is wet. And what does he do when K-ski's going up and down the road? He puts the hose on Skippy's car. The treasure is wet. Skippy's car sitting right outside my door here. And people don't want to listen to me. You cannot be intelligent if you are so biased that you can't include his bullet car, that that you can't include the airplane that was shot down, ended up in the middle of the runway with a bullet hole through the fuel tank, like the car, in the middle of the runway with a bullet hole through the fuel tank. And the seat cushion, the couch cushion spring he was sitting on in front of him by the river. You can't have all those coincidences. And you can't ignore that they crashed in the river, they got wet, and he was barefoot and had to walk home 4 miles cold, miserable, and didn't realize how much fun that was till later. That's why it made it to the book. And he was a brave little fucker to put. Hey, K-Pro, go put a rope on a buffalo. See if you're brave enough. I want to see how far a buffalo can throw. There's still 2 more months to get thrown by a buffalo if you go visit Yellowstone today. DP. And so, and the thing about the wolf sculptures that were donated by Valerie Gates. Okay, back in 1995, when I lived in Denver and I had my CD repair kit business, I don't know where, I think I put I put it away up in a cupboard somewhere. My disc tech CD repair kit. The woman who designed the cover of that repair kit was Valerie Gates. No shit. No shit. Her name was Valerie Gates. And I bet if I go get I got my dad's briefcase, and it's the same as he left it, mostly inside. I may have lost the comb that was in it. I probably lost it and broke it or something. But her old phone, her name and number is probably in that briefcase. And how do you make those coincidences? Because the bronze wolves, they get in the sun. That's why Forrest chase teachers with ropes. Anybody got a teacher that put a rope around their neck? You know, that's teachers with ropes. The biddy in Great Gatsby, the biddy ran out in front of the car and got run over. Killed. That ended the Gatsby. What ends the chase? Somebody getting killed, somebody dying. Who can keep the secret if one of them's dead? And 2017, it was done. He didn't put mildew in the car and bring it to 2017 Fenbury on a hunch. He knew I was going to be there. His private eye knew I was going to be there. And I even told my boss, because I was working as camp host at the Big Meadows, Forrest had talking about Big Meadows, and I worked in Big Meadows. But I told my boss, I got to have this Saturday. I got an event I got to go to on Saturday in Santa Fe. You got to be there, you know? So I went. But Forrest knew I was going to be there, and he brought the hat, because that's where he was staging his ceremony, that he had it staged and all that with his private eye, who's not very good at clearing titles to buy houses, or I'd be living in one. Because all my stuff was good, and the title for the house was no good, and he said he could fix it. And so I gave the realtor's number. He didn't do jack shit. And then he tried to point the finger at me. It was all my fault because I asked the seller to pay the fees, the $125 a week it would cost to extend the loan offer, because it was every week. And They still ain't got and that was December 28th. Can you imagine 125 a week since December 28th? What would that total up to now? You imagine like 26, 27, 28 weeks times 125. It'd be up around $4,000. So he thought I had that kind of cash laying around to pay these fees for extending a loan, and that I was unreasonable asking the seller to pay those fees, which the seller agreed to it. The seller knew that, yeah, it's the buyer didn't cause this problem, the seller caused it. But we're going to blame the buyer. It's like Street gaslighting me, and he's gaslighting me because I stood up for what was right. I think they just didn't want me to get that house, you know? And it still says pending. I'm the only offer that had been on it. They haven't removed it off the thing. As far as I know, nobody's fixed it. I located the people on the second title on Facebook and gave it to the realtor and gave it to Fenn's private eye. They did nothing at all. Anything they did do, they didn't report. They did anything to me or for me. They didn't do anything. They did nothing at all. And I don't know what they paid him, but they shouldn't have had to pay him because he didn't do jack shit. And I think nobody ended up having to pay the $125 a week because between me and the loan company, these people aren't going to get it done. We're sorry. We're terribly sorry, Mr. Gorman. These people they used me. So, now I got another thing come up that I said, yeah, okay, yeah, I qualify for that. I qualify for that. That might get me enough to build a house. So, and that's what I did. If I had, I'm stuck here. I'd just be happy just building a place right here in the middle of, I could put a wall up to block the wind and be sitting nice, Put a transparent wall. Plexiglass. Acrylic wall. Private eye. Who? Eric. Eric the half a bee. There's pictures of him. They had me take a picture of him and Forrest and Cynthia. It's in one of my videos I just did about the thing. Yeah. Yeah, so I ain't talked to Eric since like March. When it was already, I think it was March when I told him, hey, these other people aren't doing it. It was already 3 months that we hadn't gotten nothing. I can do it. And I don't think he was on it a week or 2 weeks. He didn't even try for a week or two. And the realtor told me, yeah, he did. Your friend didn't do anything. Well, apparently I'm not his friend anymore because I asked the seller to pay the fees, They were happy with paying him, paying everybody, but they want me to pay everything. I don't know why I was expected to pay for something that wasn't that I didn't cause. You pay, you crash your car into somebody's wall, you pay to fix their wall. They crashed their bad title into my approved loan. And they didn't want to pay for the damage they were causing. And I got jack shit. I got screwed out of the money that I paid for the appraisal. Paid for appraisal. I paid for certified mail and stuff, and so probably another $1,200 or so, and I got my money back from the realtor because I was not in the wrong. They didn't present a clean title. So they had to give me back my money. But they didn't give me back the money I paid to the title company. And then went or to the company that does the appraisal, the appraisal guy. And I got to see the appraisal, but I didn't get to pick who the appraiser was. No, the loan company picks who the appraiser is, and then appraisal was higher than what the house was. And so I thought maybe they're just backing out of this because they figure they can just relist it and get more money for it. But I don't have running water. And you see, like I was saying earlier, this one dead. Turned red. Red button. Red button. Red button. Hit the charger. Hit the charger. Oh, yeah, my volcano's running. I probably got to put water in my volcano. It's my air freshener volcano. See? I can plug it in. This is charging now, but it'll light up white. Oh, nope. Lighting up red. It's got to get a little charge before I can use it. You can't, but you plug it in for a minute, then you can get a hit, and then you just set it down and let it keep charging, and it's ready. You don't have to take your thing off and can't use it while it's charging. Oh, have you heard that? Was it Jimmy Buffett or is it Willie Nelson? Why don't we get drunk and screw? What do you do when you get stoned? Why don't we get stoned and sleep? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, come on. Is it just on the red setting? Yeah, because it's working. Yeah. Turn it off. Maybe I got it. Maybe I don't need it on that. It was on higher temperature settings while it was red. It wasn't dead. Yeah, now it's on the white. No, this one turns red when you push it. The other one, this one turns white when you push it. Okay. Well, I got an extra hit. Just making sure it was working. Yeah, me in the middle. The car was in the middle of the meadow, sitting out there in the blazing sun, like the wolves out in the sun in front of the museum. And the wolves are only out in the sun in the summer. You won't find the wolves in the sun in the winter. The sun doesn't hit them because the wolves are on the north side of the building. You had a big two-story commercial building, and the wolves are right in front of it. So in the winter, the sun's too low going across the horizon in the winter to hit the wolves. But in the summer, the sun will hit the wolves all day, most of the day, as soon as it gets up high enough to get them across from the east and it sets in the west. I guess that Mammoth gets pretty hot on the northwest corner too. And I wonder if there's a sign. I don't think anybody's tried to climb on the Mammoth. I think it'd be pretty hard to get on top of that thing. I have a picture of myself in front of a mammoth skeleton at the Perot Museum in Dallas. I was there in 2015 with my grandkids. Boy, that was fun. I'm a kid and 5 little kids. But really, yeah, Jack's a red merle, and Jill is a blue merle. It's all going to pot. Well, you know what? Forrest cannot complain about the solver smoking a little ganja. My initials, WMG. Weed, marijuana, ganja. No. His father, WMF. Okay, if you're making the license plate machine, after WMF, what's next? WMG. William Marvin Fenn. After that comes William Michael Gorman. Yeah. So, and I noticed on my bronze piece I got, it's number 7. It's number 7. Speaking of 7, 17, 24, it's number 7 of 3,072. So much like the little doggies. I had him up here. Jill's sitting up here in my lap. Jack was right next to me. They both want to be pet at the same time. You know? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure if anything happened to me, my dogs would be very upset. Because they're like king and queen here. Yeah, Steve. You don't know what the important literature, the fishing line. Once upon a while, the end of the line ends at the star, which on your keyboard is the asterisk, and the asterisk is in important literature, signifying, which I say the asterisk is a bullet point, and the asterisk bullet point means it's important. The square bullet point means something else. Usually you draw the square, an empty square, just an outline square, and when you've completed that task, you fill it in. Same with a circle or a square. It's like filling out your test sheet, We were doing those test sheets in 1966. I remember doing ESRI tests in 1966 on computer cards because we were right across the bay from Stanford University, you know? And so we were guinea pigs in the children's education. Look what California is doing to it now. Elon Musk is moving X, and Tesla. He's moving his SpaceX and X headquarters. X is moving to out of San Francisco and moving to Dallas, and or no, it's moved to Austin. I think it's moving to Austin, and SpaceX is moving to Boca Chica, and I wouldn't be surprised if he closed down the Tesla plant in Fremont and moved that to some other, other state like Oklahoma or who knows, Well, I don't think Tornado Alley is a very good place to put a large plant. You got a big target, all you need is a big tornado. Oh, that's not a floater in my eye. That was an actual mosquito buzzing around in front of my face. Willie, yeah, 7 years of searching and all I got was a poodle named after me. I found a song on here. I want my 15 cents back. And I was thinking, I only gave Forrest a nickel. I gave him one of these mammoth pins too for his fishing hat. And he has the real estate pictures, his closet. There's that Forrest Fenn totem. What other searchers have a totem made by the same guy that made Forrest Fenn's totem? I got one of me. Yeah. Thanks, Ollie. Ollie does advertising for big corporations and shit, just like the Stoof brothers. But and I heard Elon was trying to he wants to buy Disney World. But they don't want him to own it. I mean, imagine it with a real trip to Mars. they can replace the ride with a real starship. Yeah. And with and for the ride, since they don't have to actually put fuel in it, they can make the whole booster extra rooms for their for their trip to Mars flight ride layers, each floor, You have multiple floors inside that tall spaceship. Yeah, I'm gonna make some cool stuff. I've been making some wizards and stuff lately in my Facebook. I'm a wizard on Facebook. Spacebook. Is that gonna replace Facebook? Can I find some real space cowboys there? Yeah, Forrest didn't bring that mildew to 2017 Pembury without a plan for his, and he carried out his plan, and the pictures were taken because you can't have it because he had to take it with him. That's why Jack Stoof cannot be, because Forrest Fenn was still alive when those pictures were taken of Jack Stoof, and Forrest took it with him. So how could Jack Stoof have it? He couldn't, because the chase did not end until Forrest had passed away. I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana. I vape oils. I just use a vaporizer. I don't smoke it. Smoking is burning with a flame. Vaping is just turn it into mist without burning it. When you burn it, it turns it into tar. When you don't burn it, it doesn't turn into tar. You just get in the oils. It's like breathing in steam or misty air. It's just water vapor. Yeah, that's tasty. I got two flavors in there. Oh, yeah. And everybody knows about. Well, if you saw my last live stream and you seen Jason, I haven't heard from Jason since the last stream there, and how his ears doing there. But imagine that Jason has a cut across his ear right here. Jason North Face cut his ear right across here. Trump got shot through the ear right here. Within a week of each other. Are there some parallels? Are they doppelgangers? They're this ear injury, it's one side, the other side. Whatever. But yeah, going to pop. 5-leaf blaze. The car was the blaze sitting in the sun. Koski is going up and down the street. Forrest put the hose on Skippy's car because it was so hot. It was a blaze. And what's it do to K-Pro if she finds out that Skippy's car was the proxy you were to find and that Bill Gorman actually solved it? That's how you get back at K-Pro. You let her know that Bill Gorman solved it, you dingbat. Because put the hose on Skippy's car. Bill has Skippy's car. When Bill brought Skippy's car to February 2017, the mildew ceremony took place. Forrest doffed his hat, presented the hand of God, extended the hand, the olive branch of peace to Bill Gorman, and then gave his boss hat to Shiloh and said, Shiloh, get mildew from the car for me. Shiloh proceeded and got mildew from the car, and then Bill and Forrest were toe-to-toe, brim to brim, and face-to-face. Mildew and Bill in a Panama Jack. And Bill's dog is Jack. And that was 2017. And what was it? 5 months later, out comes Once Upon a While. It's all over, kids. Once upon a while, there was a treasure hunt. And they all lived happily ever after. The cover of the book, the line, leads to the asterisk or the star, which is important literature. It ends at the star. The fishing line ends at the asterisk, at this important literature in this book. And well, we don't believe Bill Gorman because it's Bill Gorman. If K-Pro told us that, we'd believe it, though. We'd really believe her. What? Because I don't have the fat cells or what? I got the brain cells, but I don't have the fat cells. Is that what the difference is? Some people don't have the brains to put the puzzle together. The psychology, they say most people can't assemble 3 different thoughts into one. When this has 9, say, you people can't get past 3, and I was past 6 before Forrest died, and I've got all the answers. The only Superman clue was that Forrest was bullet. He'd been dodging bullets. He got shot down in Vietnam. He got shot down here and there. He'd probably been held up by people. The guy wrote him a bad check. It's pretty close to being robbed. He dodged. The bullet went through his canopy. What's a canopy? But so when the canopy, his glass is broken for his airplane. It's an old airplane with no top, just like the Buffalo Cowboy car is an old car with no top. Quotes, an old car with no top. He didn't say it was a Model A yet. The car in the sketch at the top of the page is traced from Indiana Jones 4 intro. And like when he left his car with Peggy when he went into the Air Force, and he never seen that car again. The car in the beginning of the movie, it's there, on and off the road, and with a bunch of kids in it. And, it goes off down the road. You never see the car again in the movie. Where did it go? Where did the car go? Where did his car? When I hid the treasure, I was walking back to my car. He wasn't talking about the car that he drove there. He was talking about the car that was left there many years ago. Crossing the Great Divide, going from where warm waters halt to where warm waters halt. When he shot the bird's blood stopped pumping, and that bird died. The warm water of the bird, the warm blood of the bird stopped pumping through his body. And when Forrest did himself in with his thumb on the trigger an inch over his left eye, when he pulled the trigger and he pierced his left eyebrow, just above his left eyebrow, his warm waters halted. Well, I guess they halted a little later that day, but he took the same method as Hemingway, who shot himself with the gun that he shot birds with. Starts out talking about father committing suicide, hunting birds with a BB gun. Important literature is Hemingway. Hemingway hunted birds with a shotgun, shot himself in the head with a shotgun. But Forrest used a smaller caliber, like a 22 is closer to a BB than a shotgun. He was a lot cleaner about it. And I'm sure everybody was happy that he didn't exactly Hemingway, or Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain put the shotgun in his mouth, and what I remember of the story, finding Lewis and Clark. Lewis was murdered. He was shot in the chest and shot in the head. And they called it a suicide. Boom! Oh, that didn't work. Boom! No, it don't work that way, man. You shoot yourself in the heart, and you ain't going to be able to shoot yourself in the head. Or you shoot yourself in the head, you ain't going to be able to shoot yourself in the heart. So Lewis didn't kill himself. Lewis didn't Epstein himself. Actually, Yeah, and there's a song by Frank Zappa. Yeah, Billy the Mountain, and the lyrics is "Don't fuck with Billy." And where is Billy the Mountain located in the Frank Zappa song? Billy the Mountain is in Gorman, California. Oh my God. His feet are boulders down by the highway. He's the mountain. Billy is the mountain. And occasionally part of Billy will fall off and land on a car, kill somebody. People don't get the biddies, the farewell to arms, and for whom the bell tolls are both, I think, suicide missions. 2. He was born on the 22nd. He used the 22. The gun he had when the police came to bust the guy from Pennsylvania that had busted in. I bet that was the 22 that he used. Reagan was shot with a 22. Reagan was one of his stories. Hinckley used the 22 to shoot Reagan. And people don't know it, but Hinckley's father was the chief financial officer of Zapata Oil that was owned by Bush. So here you got the guy that shot Reagan. His father works for Bush. And I was hitchhiking once, and I got picked up by the guy that got Hinckley's old P.O. box. Yeah. And it turns out the guy that shot Trump, I guess his parents had reported him missing to the police. I suppose because his dad's going, where the fuck's my gun? Where the hell's that kid? The kid probably had his dad's van too, who knows? But he was on a suicide mission. He missed Trump. He mostly missed Trump, but he killed an innocent person. And they promptly removed his head. They said there wasn't anything left. They took his head off. So they turned his head into an asterisk. Oh yeah, yep. We know Don. I think old Joe should just concede right now. They forget the election. I concede. He won. There's no way Joe can win. No freaking way. He didn't even. I won't say it. But you know what I was gonna say. You know what I was going to say about his track record? And besides, he's now come down with COVID, according to the press. So, Joe might be counting his hours, might be counting his days. But you know what Joe did say? Joe did say, and I quote, "It's time to put a target on Trump." End quote. He did say that. And that right there is treason. to threaten to assassinate your political opponent, the former president. Oh, and the one woman that announced that, I think it was on Fox, and she was saying that the parents, the kids' parents, had reported him missing to the police and stuff, and but the news reporter, the woman reporting it from Fox News, she called that the kid tried to assassinate a sitting president, end quote. That was quoted. What she said, he tried to assassinate a sitting president. I thought he was up for election. He's a former president, but there are some people, that say he never left office. And the whole Biden thing is just an act to show you who these people really are. And they're destroying themselves. And they don't. And Trump's like, well, we don't know who's going to be debating with JD Vance, because we don't know who Kamala's going to choose for her running mate, or who what's his name out in California, Gavin Newsom, or who Gavin's going to choose for his running mate, or who Hillary's going to choose for her running mate, So we don't know who Vance is going to be debating. and if Trump has to debate Hillary again, I can imagine him again saying, this time I am going to lock you up. Yeah. That's what he would say. This time I am. Because, was this kid's political beliefs part of his whole family's beliefs? I went to watch something on some spiritual stuff or whatever. It was this thing on mushrooms or something. It was a spiritual thing about mushrooms. And I went to watch this video. It says like 2 hours or something. I can watch some of this. And the first minute of it, there's a guy in a dress speaking at this podium. It's a side shot, and he's definitely in a dress. And I said, no, not interested in watching this now. I turned it off. No, I don't care about your freaks. You can advance your mind and stuff without letting all the germs and the bad thoughts and the stupid thoughts and all that. You can exclude the stupid thoughts. Maybe I should wear a dress. No. That's a stupid thought. Knowing how to smoke your herbs, eat your mushrooms, without crossing the fucking line of wearing a dress. Without crossing the line of climbing on the roof with an AK or whatever. Without trying to JFK somebody. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know, is this music just dun, 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 keeps going on. I rope a buffalo. You're a granny. Yeah. How far can a buffalo throw you, Granny? How far? Everybody, how far can a buffalo throw K-Pro? If we can get enough wagering, we can probably get her to do it. Go for the buffalo throw. There were people that drove their SUV or their little minivan, whatever they had, into a hot spring in Yellowstone. But they were lucky the hot spring was only 105 degrees, but it was an acidic hot spring. So, but I think Pagosa Springs is even, there's acidic, anything where you smell the sulfur, yeah, there's acidic. And, so I don't know how much it was diluted, but so they might have got a little burned, but they got pools at Pagosa Hot Springs that are 105 degrees, and you just climb right in, you know. So people could have got out of their vehicle and got to shore and been okay. It wasn't one of them colorful ones. It was just one. And I'll bet you a guardrail shows up next to that pool to keep people from driving their cars into it. Their treasure was wet. Where warm waters halt, their car kind of overheated. But that's what it is. In Eric Sloan's Return to Taos, where warm waters halt is where you stop to put water in your car. When you're driving over Wolf Creek Pass and your Model A is overheating, you pull over, you stop where the water's coming down and the little creek's running underneath the road. You stop there and get water to put in your radiator to cool your car down. That's where warm water halts. You can't go further. You got to halt here until you get more water put in, and then you can continue on your way. And then the warm water halts you again at the next creek. And again, and it's all these roadside pullouts along the way where you see his art in his book are on the canyon walls. And from the home of Brown to the canyon down, that's two different sides of the mountain. You got to go over the Continental Divide to get from the home of Brown to the canyon down. You got to go up, no paddle, no no paddle up your creek. Wolf Creek is no paddle up your creek. There's probably 40 waterfalls going, probably 50 waterfalls going up to get to the Continental Divide at the pass, going up that mountain. The road's like this. What do you think the creek is like? Are you going to paddle up a creek that's going downhill like that? No. You're not. There's some major waterfalls in that creek that compared to what's at Yellowstone, especially in spring runoff when all the water's running over it. Huge waterfalls. Halfway up, there's a big, by the upper runaway truck ramp, across from the runaway truck ramp is big gravel parking area, and below that is a huge, huge waterfall. It's just huge. And yeah, it would probably take a helicopter to get a good look at it because it's in the canyon down there, you know, no paddle up your creek. And the heavy loads are not only the bullet and the gun barrel that goes alone in the gun barrel. The heavy loads are the people on the ski lifts at Wolf Creek ski area. The water high is Alberta Park Reservoir. That's why he wanted Canada on it. And, so as Alberta relates to Canada. That's why he wanted, because there was a part of Canada in Colorado. Alberta Park Reservoir is at 10,200 feet. 10,200 feet is the level of the lake. I think that they drained it too. They were going to drain it. I don't know if it's still drained. I got to go up there and take a look. But, because if the lake is drained, it'd be cool to see what's on the bottom of that lake. If you go up there at night with a metal detector. Metal detect the bottom of the lake at night. There might be, what could be under there is LeBlanc's gold. There are 3 places. There's supposed to be $30 million in gold bars hidden in 3 places around Treasure Mountain, Wolf Creek Pass, between Treasure Mountain and Del Norte. And when Coronado came through here, he went past the Great Sand Dunes and stuff to the upper branch of the Del Norte. The Del Norte, or the Rio Del Norte. The Rio Del Norte was the Rio Grande. And Del Norte starts with a D and has a big D on the mountain because Forrest prayed for D's. And Skippy's car was in the D of the word wood at Tucker Ponds, which is tired and weak. And the word wood is the meadows are the letters of the word wood written along Pass Creek as I had passed this valley. Val is a valley, and this is a valley. Wyoming is a valley. The Wyoming Valley of Pennsylvania is where my great-great-great-grandfather was born. In Nicholson Township, Wyoming, Pennsylvania, Wyoming County. It was Wyoming Township. And it's part of Lucerne County now or something. But it used to be its own. It's still Wyoming. I don't know. There's still Wyoming there in Pennsylvania. In that part of Pennsylvania and New York, the Wyoming Valley was supposed to be the original Wyoming, because Wyoming is where you see the rivers meandering back and forth, and the river changes course and it takes a different course. And those meadows that it left that fill in with soil, those meadows that make up the OOD in wood, because it's a Wyoming, it made these meadows that say the word wood, and the car was in the D, Skippy's helicopters in the W, the ZPU guns in the W, and it's all at Tired and Weak, Tuckered Ponds. That's why the bronze sniffing dog Tucker had to plagiarize my dog Jack, who that smelled the treasure and peed on it in 2019. No, December of 2019, Jack had his Jack the 1 foot searcher video, and I peed on the treasure. I had my dog animated, right? And then what's Posey 11 months later in the New Yorker says that his dog smelled the bronze. Oh, did you plagiarize me, Justin? Or are you trying to say this is how the real solver did it? Because Justin and Matt DeMoss, these people that Matt DeMoss didn't know that he was reading a story about K-Pro, not Koski, not K-Ski, K-Pro. K-Pro, who's stirring up the dust in the community. And how do you piss off K-Pro? The treasure chest is wet. So you put the hose on the car, which is the blaze, which is the treasure. And the car is ablaze because when that metal's sitting out in the middle of the meadow in the blazing sun gets very hot. Like the bronze sculptures where he parks his car at the museum. I got somebody I might get on my channel. I might get a guest on. Next time I'm going to set somebody up. It's just going to be me and somebody. And I'm not going to let you people come in and join because I'm going to let somebody else explain what I'm explaining from the viewpoint of somebody with a psychiatry background or a what do you call them? A coach, motivational coach background and things. Because you people, a lot of people have used their hatred to me, for me, has caused them extreme bias in what they listen to and what they don't listen to. And yeah, you know, this is going to leave Street and Candy are going to be left with making videos of Street putting Orajel, you know where, on Candy, and while watching a Taiwan Toby Cunnilingus lesson. Yeah, but Candy never cared that Street was the one that said, like, flies on candy, as if he was talking about flies on shit. She never cared that he said that shit. I'm just quoting what he said. Because when he said it, then you can't unhear that. So I saw somebody else on another YouTube channel had something about waffles, and it was nothing about the chase. It was nobody involved in the chase, you know. But other people waffles are spreading around. Oh, now the light is turning a lighter color. Oh, when the battery's low, it turns red. But it still works. That's pretty good. Well, not a lot of chatting, but I expect somebody besides Smokin' Joe to open up their ears and pay attention to what I've said. I am not Smokin' Joe. I've been accused of Smokin' Joe, and people hate me because they think that I was Smokin' Joe that said something that pissed them off. And I was not whatever Smokin' Joe said. I am not Smokin' Joe. I did not say that. And so when you accuse me of being somebody doing something that I did not do, you know what it is. Double blazes. Yeah. Remind me, I'm going to get some coffee and watch some videos. I'm sure somebody else is probably already streaming. Let me see. Bill's streaming, so we got to interrupt. We got to take away anybody that might watch Bill. I knew Mario was just closing up when I went on. And I did put up the little video with the with the girl talking about street gaslighting me. The whole gaslighting thing, street drag. Oh, Bill, it was a big joke on Bill, Forrest and Mildew, and oh, and Bill was dragging that cowl around all day long. That is such bullshit. The truth is, I got there. I parked my car close to the covering and all that, and I sat the cowl up on top of the wall, up on the dirt above the wall, and somebody had rolled it over in his face, and you couldn't see where And so I went and put it back like that one time. I put it back, and then I was asked, I don't remember, it could have been Forrest, could have been his private. Somebody wanted me to move it up on top of the wall, down lower on the wall, and over to the right of where it was. And so I obliged, and I put it where they wanted me to put it. And it stayed there until I left, until at the end of the day, and I picked it up, and I put it in the trunk of my car. Street is a big fucking liar. I did not drag it around. He was saying that to try and embarrass me, to try and put me down and prop his own ass up. And as he put his ass up in the air, and you could see straight at it through his nose. If you look through there. Because I know that head of his is connected to his ass. Because the only way his head got on his shoulders was up through his ass. Yeah. Because when you say foul shit like that, I can say some ridiculous, foul things about you that aren't true also, you son of a bitch. But where they had me move the cowl was down to the right. And what did they do? He put two beach chairs, folding chairs there next to the cowl. And then Forrest sat in the chair to the right. So there's an empty chair between Forrest and the cowl. Anybody that sat in that chair did not see it was right there. And if it was a snake, it could bite them on the ass. And Forrest, there's a picture of Forrest and Candyman is sitting there. Candyman's sitting there laughing with Forrest, and the cowl is right behind him in the picture. That's what's about that picture. Here he is, Candyman's looking at Forrest, not knowing that what he was looking for was right behind his ass. He was practically sitting on it, and he didn't know it. And how much fun was that for Forrest to sit there? No! And Forrest is like, the picture of Forrest is actually in the guy's mouth. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. It's right there. What a stupid mother. What a stupid mother. Oh, I'm okay, Jill. Yes. Do you love me, Jill? Oh, do you love me? Do you love me? Yes, he loves her. You are lucky there was no coffee in there. You are so lucky there was no coffee in that cup. Yes, you are. My little sweet doggy, aren't you? Are you my sweet doggy? Are you? Are you? You a sweet doggy? You go. Oh, Jill. Oh, Jill. Come on. Oh, here we go. And then Jack comes over too. Jack says, "Oh, it's love and attention time." Come on, Jack. He's jealous of Jill too. He says, "You're on YouTube." I don't do YouTube. Jack doesn't do YouTube. You don't see Jack on YouTube, do you? Jill, what you doing? Huh? Pretty girl. Oh, no, don't sit on my vape pen. Oh, oh, oh. What are you doing now, Jill? You taking over? Are you taking over? Are you the boss of the house? Are you the alpha dog, Jill? She's just laying down across my lap, holding my arm down, my right arm. She says, "This is uncomfortable. I'm too big to be up here." Aren't you, Jill? Oh, big dog. Are you a big dog, Jill? Her legs. She's standing on my legs. So that's how big she is. She comes up to under my chin. But yeah. So I think I was about to sign off when I was so to say involved in a dog pile. A dog pile. That's what it means. Yeah, all the dogs. You lay on the ground, all your dogs come lay on top of you. Oh, Jill. Got her collar, got the phone number on it, and it says it's a reflector. Got a bright reflector collar. And she's got a long tail. She doesn't have her tail cut off, cropped like Jack. Jack already had no tail when I got him. And there she just dropped when I was going to show you her tail. What are you doing, Jill? Jill, you sit still. Sit still, Jill. I call her Silly Jilly. Jackie and Jilly. And her other nickname is Slunky. Because she, in the RV, you get off the bed at the foot of the bed, and she drops her front legs off the bed, and then she just drags her body and her back legs off the bed. They just drag off behind her. She does a little stretch. Hey, Jill, what are you doing? Go. Yeah. Go play with Jack. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, good to see you, Whoopi. 23. How can that's on the I've admitted what in text. I don't know what Geo Duck is talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I have emails from Forrest. Forrest told me, he said, "You can keep your great treasure." That's what he told me. So I'll leave it at that. I have the email that he told me you can keep your great treasure. I don't have room for it. So I'll leave it there. You're going. I got to fix me something to eat. What time is it, Kenny? It's too late to go get something. Everybody closing up in 30 minutes. Catch you later. I have some sausage and eggs. Have some breakfast late at night. Otherwise, I gotta thaw stuff out. See you later.